So it's almost 7. I've been awake since 3:30 because I could not get back to sleep. So I might work on some recording some videos, some writing, and work on some paint over there in the little studio. Throw some paint down on a canvas I got. Hello, Nukanaki. Hello, my friends. How are y'all doing? So today is June 16th, 2026. Uh, it is a little after 6 p.m. I'm running a little late, get my recording going. I had a lot going on today. Been working out in the garden. Um, just like the clips you've seen for yesterday. Uh, just making sure everything's looking good, getting all the bugs out, taking care of the chickens, getting the animals fed. And now I'm going to sit down and write a little bit. Um, just to give a little bit about what I'm writing on, it is a sci-fi comedy type book, an adult sci-fi comedy. Uh, I'm on chapter 13. I have a 2,000 word uh, goal every day. I usually reach at, if I start early in the morning, can usually reach at by the end of the day. I write on it periodically throughout the day. Um, it's going to be roughly 120,000 words. That's the goal I'm shooting for on the first draft, anyway. Um, I still expect the final draft to be at least 100,000 or more. Uh, I want it to be a good chunky book. Um, so far, I've only written 28,842 words. So it's going. It's going slow, but it's going. But I think if I can get my 2,000 words a day, especially if I can sit down and write every single day, I think I can have this written and at least, let's see, 2,000 words a day. I could probably have 120,000 words in a couple months, maybe less since I have a little bit more written already. But I have an outline. It is just a bullet point outline, which is kind of just like getting all my main points in there and then filling in between those how how they fit together and how they get to each of those points. So that alone is 11,346 words, and that's just bullet points. So it's pretty chunky. It's pretty. I like the story. It's going to need a lot of work, especially after the first draft. The first draft is going to be horrible. It's going to be horrendous. But if I sound funny, if people, well, I guess if you know me, I might sound funny, but my voice feels weird because I've been outside most of the day, most of the evening, and I get allergies really bad. So my throat feels funny, and talking is just not going to help it. So we're going to write a little bit, and then I'll talk a little bit about other things that I like to do. Artwork. I am an artist. I got bugs in front of me. I do like to paint. My main artistic goal is to be a comic book creator. I want to make comic books. I do work on like short comic strip type things. So if you want to check those out, you can. There's a description below, or you go to Ko-fi.com. That's ko-fi.com/indigicomics. Like I said, there'll be links below. Go check out my work. There's a shop there. You can check out paintings and art prints and my children's books that I have for sale. I've written 2 children's books back in 2016 and 17. My first book was The Snake Hunter, and my second book was Coco's Secret Treasure. I'll throw those up on the screen. But go check those out. Let me know what you think. Give me a follow over there if you want. It's free. I do have a goal set over there. I am in need of a drawing tablet. I do want to display drawing tablet. I want to make comic books, but I don't have the tools. Like, it takes me a while to save money because I don't have a job. I can't get the comic book boards. I don't have a printer to print that size of paper, and I don't like printing just half of it and then the other half and trying to splice those together in Photoshop or something, because I can't get them to come out looking good. So I don't want to do that. I would like, if I can do it digitally, I won't have to worry about any of those tools. I probably still will draw a little bit on paper, especially my rough drafts, for my panels and stuff like that. But that's my main artistic goal, is to be a writer and a comic book creator. And on this channel, I will write a lot and I will paint a lot, but every once in a while I will write some comic strips, and I'll let you know when I'm doing that if you want to see me or watch or hear me talk about comic book strips and how I outline those and format those if you want to hear or not. I don't know. But right now, I finally got to sit down and relax after working outside, and I'm going to write a little bit. So let's get it going. Like I said, I'm on chapter 13. I am maybe halfway through chapter 13, and I don't, I have the outline for the entire story, at least, bullet points of what I want. So in between those, when I'm writing my scenes, they're it's a lot of discovery writing, which I like a lot. But I don't have my scenes outlined. So I don't have like what I want in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end, and how I'm going to wrap it up. I don't know. I do know what comes next in a way when I look at my bullet points. So I'm just writing kind of how I get to that point. And then I can go back after I'm done and start editing and start doing developmental edits and structural edits and things like that, which I know nothing about. I know nothing about what I'm doing right now. I've learned off YouTube. YouTube University is probably the best thing anybody can, attend. It's free. Just get on YouTube and people will help you teach you how to do just about anything. So that's where I've been learning to write, learning about scenes, learning about outlines, learning about editing and things like that. So I'm working on draft one. So let's get into writing a little bit and let's see where I can go. Okay, so I got about 450 words written. Like I said, if I would have started earlier this morning, I would have done more. But I got up later than I wanted. Yesterday I got up too early. Today I got up too late. So like I said, this is a sci-fi comedy. I'm not going to go too much into details, but it does involve Indigenous characters. They are Shawnee. I'm Shawnee. I am enrolled in Eastern Shawnee Tribe of Oklahoma. So I try to, whenever I create something or I write a story, write a book, say like I'm doing now, I try to use Indigenous characters. That's just my goal with anything I do. I want it to come back to who I am or the land I belong to or that my ancestors belong to. They are Indigenous characters. What can I say without giving it away? But like I said, it's a sci-fi. So they are, they were transported to a new planet, to another world in the galaxy. And so that's the main part of the story. So I won't give away too much because if I want to talk about it, but again, I'm going to give away too much. So I hope that I can get this done. I really like this story. I really like the idea of this story, and I think people will like it. Indigenous and non-Indigenous people. I think anybody can read this and laugh. I do think that some of the jokes some people might not understand. I think the Indigenous community will understand them more than the non-native people. But deep down at the core, I'm writing this for Indigenous people. Got to keep our stories alive, and whether they don't have to be cultural stories, they don't have to be about ceremonies. Not every story has to be, leather and feathers. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we can just write a sci-fi that has Indigenous characters in it, and maybe jokes or something that Indigenous people understand that other people might not. It's all right. That's what I'm trying to do. It's what I'm trying to tell. Kind of story I'm trying to do. People do the same thing with horror stories. Like horror is very, it's really big in the Indigenous community. Horror stories are a big thing. If you haven't read the book, I've read the first one. I hope to get the second one. Never Whistle at Night is an amazing collection of short horror stories written by indigenous characters, indigenous authors with indigenous characters, and there are amazing stories. I love those stories, and I hope after this book, even now while I'm writing this book, I am writing short stories, and I'm trying my hand at horror stories. I'm trying my hand at in the horror genre, so that's fun. Um, I keep arguing with myself about how far to take certain things. You know, I like the slasher genre. You know, the slasher films, and I like the what are they called, the psychological thrillers. You know, that really play with your head. So that's something I would like to do. At least write some short stories, a collection, maybe self-publish them, or just give them away. I don't know, but like I said, got about 450 words written. I might write a little bit more later on tonight. I do have some free time, so but I might go work on a painting. I got a painting started. I got a horse sketched out that I need to throw some paint down on and get started. So I might do that. But I want to thank you guys for just sitting here with me, watching me write. I don't know what it is about watching writers talk about their writing. It inspires me. It gets me motivated to write. So hopefully that's what this does for you guys. But I hope this motivates you to write if you're a writer. Sit down, give yourself an hour or two, and just write. Don't worry about how much you're writing. Don't worry about your word count while you're writing. Just write until you get the ideas out of your head onto paper or onto the computer. Just write. And when you feel like you're done, check your word count. See how much you've written. And then, keep doing that every day. Eventually, your story's going to be done. And you have the fun job of editing and revising and rewriting and maybe deleting. But I hope I don't delete my story, because I'm scared that I'm going to get to the end and be like, this is crap. Nobody's going to read this. I like the story, but I don't think anybody else is going to like the story. And I'm afraid I'm going to delete it. When I was in school and I would write poetry or write stories in a notebook, I used to fill up notebooks when I was in school with poetry. There would come a time at some point that I would look at that notebook and go, why am I writing this? Who's going to read this? And then as I'm walking out of school or class, I would throw the notebook in the trash. And I've done that multiple times when I was younger. And there are many times in my life that I wish I still had those notebooks, because I can remember some things that I've written that I'm just like, man, if I could just remember that poem or that story, that would be an amazing story to work on, or an amazing poem to work on and revise and rewrite, because it had some awesome ideas, and I wish I still had those stories. And I tell myself that, I beat myself up over that all the time. Save your stuff. Save your stuff, even if you feel like it's crap, that it's never going to get published, it's never going to see the light of day. Save your stuff. Even now, in the last couple of years, there's been times where I've deleted a file off my computer because I'm like, there's no point in having this. I'm never going to do anything with it, never going to publish it, never going to show it to anybody. So I just need to save space on my computer and get rid of it. And I know you've guessed what has happened. Man, I wish I still had that. Now I have an idea for that I could do. Save your stuff. Don't delete it. Don't throw it away. But just save your stuff. Anyway, I'm done rambling about that. I hope in the future, as I keep making my videos, I'll have more than just me sitting here. Be more of a day in the life. A day in my life, which is not much. A lot like yesterday, the clip you've seen of me working out in the garden, mowing the yard, cleaning up a little bit around my desk. I do hope to share more about my life. We are going back to the gym. I hope to document that, record that. Might be a little awkward. I'm a pretty chubby guy, and it's a little embarrassing sometimes to see myself on camera, especially my whole body. You know, I have a big belly. No butt. I don't have a butt that my wife and my son make fun of me over. Frog butt. I have a frog butt. That's what my son says. But I want to get healthy. My wife wants to get healthy. My son says he wants to get healthy, but he wants to eat donuts and pizza all the time. So we're working on that. We're working on eating healthy. And so I will take you on that journey with me and show, I guess, a day at the gym. We want to go 3 days a week. So some of those days I might have to take my phone. I won't take my camera because I am still a little shy recording in public. I hope to take you along. And I hope you will witness this losing weight, getting skinny. But don't be jealous. Don't come after me, okay? I just want to be healthy. My family wants to be healthy, so that's what we're working on. We could always use support, so drop your support in the comments and give us some motivation, some inspiration. Are you working on anything? Are you working on your health? Are you working on a story? Are you working on art? Are you an artist? Are you a writer? Are you into comic books? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Give me a like. Give me a follow. Subscribe. Follow me over on Ko-fi. I'm on TikTok. And, all that stuff's in the comments down below. The links and everything. So, it's about 5 o'clock. It's raining out. Did not get to writing today because we've been busy helping my parents pack up to move a little ways down the road to a new building in this elder community that they're living in. So I didn't get to any writing this morning. But I'll show just a little bit about what we've been doing. Packing up stuff. It's been raining all day, off and on. It's been nice out though. Been raining. When it stopped, I kind of went down to the creek. My wife and son got into the cold water. Crystal clear. It looked good. But I was too busy recording and taking pictures, so I'll show those too. not much going on today. I didn't do anything yesterday either because we've been helping pack, and I didn't get to recording, and it's a routine that I have to try to get into that it's hard because I'm wanting to get up at about 6 o'clock in the morning and write, and either write and record, or write and then record a little bit later, kind of about what I've done. But I like writing and recording, and kind of talking about what I've been doing, kind of what I'm going over at the moment, in the moment. So, no writing yesterday, no writing today. Hopefully next week will be better. I will post the video on YouTube either tonight or in the morning after I get it edited. I've been kind of editing as I go. That seems to help instead of waiting to do it all at once before I upload it. So anyways, this is going to be the end of the first week. Not much happened this week. I did go over a little bit of my writing, which I'm glad I did. But please like the video, subscribe, give me a follow, and hopefully I'll have more writing videos for you guys and kind of going over what I'm doing. Hit me up in the comments below, say hi, and I'll see you next week. Salah no kike no le. I'll see you again. Nyawe. Thank you.